Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. So thank you for joining us. Today's guest is Hema Mistry from St. Peter's Dental Clinic in Bedford. Hema's going to be with us today to say what she's been doing in her business and how she's evolved it during COVID and lockdown. So if I just bring Hema in. Hello, Hema. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me today, Ricky.
Oh, you're welcome, Hema. And now, Hema, you've changed your business a lot in the last 9 months, haven't you?
Yes.
Because of COVID and everything that's been going on. So just tell us a little bit, Hema, about your business. What is your business? We've obviously said it's St. Peter's Dental Clinic, but what does your business do?
We're a private dental practice, which is based in the town centre in Bedford. We're quite nicely rated. We've got a lot of 5-star reviews. We provide a full range of treatments, from implants in a day to teeth straightening, whitening. We're also general dentists, a family dentist, and we do treatments for very nervous patients like dental sedation. So we actually offer a very wide range of services.
Now you've invested quite heavily in kit, haven't you, to make your patients feel safe in the current climate? Because obviously one of the things that we sort of noticed is a lot of dental practices right now are closing or not taking patients on, which is something that you are doing in your practice, isn't it?
Yes. I was really lucky because when we went into the first lockdown, I wanted to make my staff feel safe. We treat a lot of vulnerable patients and a lot of older patients. And for personal reasons as well, I wanted to introduce everything into the clinic that was possible to make it as safe as possible. So I started my journey for this this COVID protocol back in March. And actually back in February, we were already buying the FFP2 and FFP3 masks. And so I was really lucky. I was buying everything when it was still available. Electricians were still able to put in their air ventilation units. The air purifiers were still available. And I bought a lot of PPE in the form of gowns.
Have you got some of it? Have you got some of it there? Because it's like something from
yes,
a film.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Go show some of this PPE.
So when we're doing anything aerosol generating, we have a cute little hat, which I'm not going to spoil my hair, and then we wear a gown. And I think my most expensive investment to wear a gown. This gets changed in between every single patient, the hat and the gown. And then I bought a air-fed ventilator, which is really good. It looks like this. So the filters are at the back, and they actually sit on your back or on your side. So you're breathing out through your side and not in front of the patient. And this is a full face mask.
And when do you use that?
So I would use this when there is an aerosol generating procedure, which would be teeth cleaning with an ultrasonic scaler, or if it was a filling and you use the drill, I would use the full PPE. Otherwise, I would just use a normal mask and a visor to do checkups. Of course, when I'm seeing very vulnerable people, I would wear this anyway because it gives me good vision, and there's no reason why it shouldn't come out of the cupboard more often than it is needed.
And you have invested really heavily in that, and that is really to give all of your patients peace of mind, but also to show that one of the things that you've noticed, and I've certainly noticed, because people on the channel would have seen in the posts that Kai and Ava actually visited your practice last week, because everywhere's closed, everywhere's not accepting patients, and you just cannot get appointments where you have, not only do you have the equipment, you're actually accepting appointments now, aren't you, from sort of everybody, really?
You know what, Ricky? We realised during lockdown that people were not making provisions for their own patients. So this was during lockdown. I was with my team answering the phone from 8:30 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, all throughout lockdown. So we'd already realised that there was a need. So when we came back, I came back with a team that was willing to work long hours, and we actually work long hours nearly every day, every weekday to help the local community. And so I'm really lucky. I have got an amazing team. I have to say a lot of the PPE is in place because of them too. And because of them and the flexibility in the hours that they've been willing to work, I've been really lucky. I've been able to provide a really good service.
And it's not just emergencies, is it, that you're doing? You're covering quite a lot.
No, it's actually a full range of services. And I think that now has made me realise that when we're calling people back for 6 months checkup, what the consequences are of missing your 6 months checkup because of COVID. Some people have not come back for a year, 9 months. And because the habits of people have changed during lockdown, they're perhaps drinking a little bit more alcohol or not so careful with their diet because now they're working from home in the kitchen. You see the fridge all the time. So we have noticed that there has been a consequence to some people of having that extended time for their checkup. And we're seeing decay in a little bit more advanced stages than we normally would. And we're seeing, especially people that already had gum disease, have missed their 3 monthly hygiene appointments. And we've seen their gum condition slide, which is such a shame. So, that is my message now. Keep up with your checkups, even though you think that they're not as important, because we're doing an oral cancer screening. We also notice things inside your mouth that may represent a systemic medical problem. And right now, people are finding it really hard to get into their doctors. So if there is a history taking that we think is uncontrolled diabetes or anemia, right now it would be very difficult for people to go to the doctor themselves. So we're actually intervening in that and writing to the doctor and asking for their help, and people are getting their appointments that they're finding difficult otherwise.
Okay. So with your equipment and all the investment that you've done, then alleviating the fears, I mean, it is super, super clean, super... it's just amazing what you have there. So how you don't just deal with your area, you're taking people from all over, aren't you? You're finding that you're actually getting people who aren't able to get those appointments from their local practices to actually booking in with yourself. How do they do that? Do they go on your website, or where do they go?
You can go on the website and book, or you can ring our practice and book. The telephone number is 01234 261 881, and someone will be happy to help and talk you through how to book. We've always accepted people from a wide area, and so our existing clientele pre-COVID comes from a very wide area as well, and people travel to come and see us. So that would be nothing new for us. We don't restrict our services to any type of.
And is it what one thing that people say is it's a private clinic, isn't it?
Yes.
Which is important. Do you take NHS as well, or is it predominantly private?
We don't have any NHS contract at this clinic, so we're not able to help in that way. But that shouldn't exclude people from being helped. We can talk about our prices and what we are able to offer, and we are able to see people as a one-off if they want to. So it really depends on the people's needs. Just because you've been in the NHS in the past doesn't exclude you from our clinic.
And it's not, say, it's not just emergencies, is it? If you've missed a checkup for 6 months or a yearly, or you're concerned in any way, shape or form, then actually to reach out to you in your clinic, because are you operating 7 days a week or?
No, we operate from Monday to Friday. We do have got Saturdays in the rota. We work late on a Tuesday at the moment, but those are not the only clinic hours. When we see that there is a need, or somebody needs something special or something quickly, we are able to open the clinic later on those days. Also, we've made provision for people that are a little bit medically vulnerable from COVID. We go through our lists every single day. We mark out the people that we think are vulnerable, and we make sure that they are the first ones to be seen inside that particular surgery, because the dentists are not working in one surgery anymore. When you are doing an aerosol generating procedure, we are actually leaving the surgery to rest and then cleaning it down after the rest time. So we're actually working between multiple surgeries, and we just make sure if anyone's a little bit vulnerable that they're the first one of that day to be seen in that surgery. I've opened up the clinic especially for certain people, so they just come in and see one person and then leave and book their appointments over the phone and make payments over the phone. We've been really flexible with our patients' needs during this time.
Now, with the lockdown, obviously you were open during lockdown, you were taking patients through lockdown, because in some cases it isn't just an emergency. The fact that they haven't had the checkups that they need could lead to other problems. So in a way is an emergency for that person. With the lockdown that's pending, you're open through that time, aren't you? And people can actually book appointments with you and your team.
Well, at the moment, the advice is that medical and dental facilities are open and we are able to do screening. So dental checkups is seen as a screening procedure. So we are able to do checkups and hygiene procedures at the moment. If anything changes, we're very, very good at reaching out to our clientele and letting them know of our, of our different protocol. If there is any difference in treatments that we're able to offer, our clinic opening times change, we do communicate that quite well to our clientele. But at the moment, the message is come and get everything done, your checkup, your hygiene, and if you need any other procedures done.
And get your kids checked if they need to be and procedures,
yes.
you know.
It was really nice to see you that day, Ricky.
Yeah, it was good. Well, the thing is like I say, the surgeries, it could be over a year, 9 months, 12 months before they're actually accepting people. So you've got to travel to go to somewhere like yourselves. And it was awesome. You're amazing with the kids, and that it's such an amazing sort of practice that you have. And have got a really, really cool team. So anybody who's out there, if you are in the region of Bedfordshire, Northamptonshire, surrounding areas, and you need to get your teeth checked, you need any particular procedures, be sure to reach out to Hema's business, St. Peter's Dental Practice. I'll put a link down below, and reach out to her team. They are amazing, and you can see the amount of equipment that has been purchased to keep everybody safe. Now, some of the questions I always ask Hema, because, and before I go into some of them actually, I was going to ask you, what made you get into dentistry? What made you get into this?
It was a really hard decision when I was 18, but I was always interested in something medical, and I think I looked at it, and dentistry is a very good career for a woman who wants to later have a family. It's very flexible, and I have to say that I have really engaged in my hobby, because there isn't a single day in the last 24 years that I've been graduated that I've ever thought I'm coming to work. I actually come here smiling and really excited for the day. My team find it sometimes a bit annoying how excited I am for the day, but I still, after all of these years, feel exactly the same.
Okay, so Hema, what piece of advice then would you give your younger self, or a young person who may want to come into your industry? What advice would you give?
I think you have to be really focused. If dentistry is a career that you've chosen, it has to be the only career that you choose, because it's actually quite a difficult career path to get to. But I think it's very rewarding. I love the client contact. That's my favorite bit, and I'm so glad that I'm still able to do that as part of my job, even though a lot of people are working from home. I'm so glad that I am able to come out to work. But I think just stay focused, keep your aim in your mind, and you will get there, because that's how I got there.
Okay. And that's the same advice. Would you give your younger self any different advice now, or would it still be keep that focus?
I think if I was going to speak to my younger self, I would say, just career-wise, just aim where you're going to and just go there. I think for me, I put too many obstacles in my way. I worried about when my family was going to come and other things you're not in control of. And I perhaps changed my career a little bit to accommodate all of these things. But really, if you're going to have a family, it just all falls into place anyway. So I would tell my younger self, aim for the stars and actually just don't stop traveling there. Everything else just will fall in place.
Okay, awesome. Okay, Emma, so obviously I have 3 questions that I sort of ask everyone. That was one of them. The other one is, what does success look like for you?
I think I'm seeing success now. I'm glad for lockdown. I'm actually glad for my family. I'm spending some time with my family, and I think for me that is the biggest thing. I enjoy the family, and so that for me is success in itself. For the clinic, success is meeting the expectations of the people that come here, and providing a really nice, relaxing environment for all our patients. And I can say that at the moment, coming to work feels like I'm at home in some respects. Okay. A lot of the patients have become like family to me. I know a lot of details about their family life and their hobbies, so I do see success in the clinic as making people comfortable, delivering what we say we're going to deliver on time, and making people smile, because I think that is our aim, making the world smile, one patient at a time.
Oh, there we go. That's great, isn't it? Making the world smile, one patient at a time. So what do you want to be when you grow up?
If you knew me, I'm just 5 foot tall. It would be nice to be 5'2".
Yes. Well, we did actually joke during lockdown about you being the tooth fairy.
Yes. I never got around to doing that, but I could fit into a children's tooth fairy costume, so I should do that.
So what does the future hold for you? I mean, obviously the practice is very busy. You've been very, very busy during lockdown. Everybody who is worried or needs to see a dentist or get appointments should reach out to your practice. And I can personally vouch, it's an amazing practice with an amazing group of people that you have working for you, and you're amazing with the kids. I mean, I took Kai and Ava to come and see you last week, which people would see. And people will start seeing more of you as well, won't they? Because you're starting to do more social media, and you're starting to show behind the scenes a little bit of the actual practice, sort of opening it up for people to see what you have.
Yes. I feel that is a really important thing, because people are worried about coming out of their homes, even not about coming just to the dentist, but just coming out of their homes. And I feel really reassured that when people are actually coming here on the way out, they're saying, oh my goodness, how much trouble have you been to? We've had some air ventilation units put in, so the air is sucked out of each room, and we've had some air purifiers put in. We're working with windows open as much as we can. And when people are coming here, they're seeing all these things, and they're appreciating it. So I think for me, the message is keep up with your regular appointments. Your screening appointments are so important. And also to reassure people that I have taken measures to make them feel as safe as possible.
Mm-hmm. No, you have, and it's quite hard actually with the dentist, because no one really likes going to the dentist because they fear the drill from a young age, and then obviously you've got all of COVID that you've now prepared for. What sort of tips? Because I know you gave a tip for me around little Rory in terms of the parent adult toothpaste and things. But what sort of tips maybe would you give for general dental health for those who are maybe scared to come out? And what sort of advice or top tip would you have?
I think if you're worried about coming to the dentist, now is actually the perfect time, because a lot of dentists have changed their attitude. I know I certainly have. We used to make appointments for absolutely everything. And before lockdown, I started to do this thing where I wanted to meet people in the coffee shop instead of in the dental surgery if they were so scared that they couldn't even walk into my office. So, but I realise now that is even putting a barrier into the works. That if we had another forum which we could talk to patients, give advice over the telephone, And we do have something. There's a Facebook group called Meet the Dentist, and there I was able to give advice on the telephone or advice through Facebook, just from some messages, and that takes the whole bit of coming out of your house and meeting with actually physically meeting with me. You're still inside your house, yet you can reach out and get some good advice. It's limiting how much advice I can give, but the fact that you've made that first step is really important.
Okay, cool. So is there anything that you would want to say then to people? Obviously, we've said if you are struggling to get an appointment, if you need a friendly, amazing dental sort of practice and clinic, but you can see your kit, actually, it's something out of a film, isn't it, really? With all the mask and everything, you're showing all of that. It's just madness. And does everyone have that? Does everyone wear that? Because you've got quite a few.
Yes, the nurses are also wearing things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, because if they're in the room with the aerosol generating procedure, that we all have to be dressed up to protect ourselves. We're all changing the clothes in between each patient so that we're not contaminating from one patient to another as well. And it's really important. We've got a very strict protocol. It's funny, we should talk about this because this has become my new normal. We just put on the kit and we just get on with the procedure, and then we just move from surgery to surgery. But I have got one of my nurses coming back from maternity leave, and she hasn't seen any of this until a week ago. And it's funny how when she stepped into the surgery, you see the look on her face at how how different the procedures now are. But yeah, so it's really brought it home to me how much we've adapted and how much we've changed.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you for joining us, Hema. I know that you'll come on and we'll do another chat and another time. But if you are in, is it Northamptonshire, Bedfordshire, Oxfordshire? I mean, pretty much anywhere, really, isn't it? You're taking people from all over travelling to come to your practice. If you need to see a dentist or have an appointment or reach out to Hema's team, be sure to do so. She has an awesome team. She is very little, she said herself. She is the tooth fairy. In fact, we could probably say to the kids she is the tooth fairy, and she is brilliant with the youngsters. So thank you for joining us, Hema. And I look forward to sharing some more stories with everybody about what you're doing very soon. So wherever you are in the world, thank you ever so much for joining us, and be sure to reach out to St. Peter's Dental Clinic in Bedford. Have an amazing day.
Thank
Keep
you,
safe.
Ricky. Thank you.
Take care.